When my grandfather passed away, I inherited something extraordinary, a 3,700-acre valley that had belonged to our family for generations. Most people had no idea how much land it actually included. That misunderstanding would soon cause major problems. The inheritance process took several months. By the time everything was finalized, I was eager to visit the property. I expected to inspect fences and roads. Instead, I found construction equipment. A large development had appeared near the valley entrance. New roads had been built. Construction crews were everywhere, and nobody seemed surprised to see them. At first, I assumed the project occupied neighboring land. Then I checked my maps. The property lines told a different story. The development crossed directly onto my valley. I approached the entrance looking for answers. Security immediately stopped me. They claimed the area belonged to the Homeowners Association. That answer only raised more questions. A few minutes later, the HOA president arrived. Victoria Hayes carried herself like she owned the valley. The security guards treated her like royalty. She clearly believed she was in charge. Victoria proudly explained that 42 lots had already been sold. Future homeowners were preparing to build. She described expansion plans worth millions. Then I asked a simple question. I asked whether she had checked the property records. Victoria laughed. She claimed her attorneys handled everything. That response immediately caught my attention. The survey maps showed something remarkable. Many of the lots overlapped my inherited property. Not a small section. Entire neighborhoods. Instead of arguing, I made a few calls. County records would provide the truth. Property ownership isn't decided by opinions. It's decided by documents. An hour later, Sheriff Ross arrived at the development entrance. He listened to both sides carefully. Victoria sounded completely confident. I simply handed him the maps. The sheriff spread the documents across his vehicle. The development plans looked impressive. But property ownership and construction plans are not the same thing. Only one of them determines who owns the land. To avoid any doubt, the sheriff contacted the county records office. Officials began reviewing every parcel involved. Dozens of lots were checked individually. The results would take some time. While the review continued, Victoria acted like nothing was wrong. She met with contractors. She discussed future construction phases. And she assured everyone the project was safe. I spent the afternoon exploring the valley. The property stretched farther than most people realized. My grandfather had assembled it over decades. Every acre was documented. Back at the ranch house, I reviewed older records. Some of the deeds were nearly 70 years old. Each transfer had been carefully recorded. The ownership trail was impossible to dispute. The county decided to send surveyors. They checked boundary markers throughout the valley. Every measurement confirmed the same conclusion. The maps were accurate. Word began spreading across the job sites. Workers started asking questions. Some projects slowed down. Uncertainty was growing. Potential buyers also noticed the activity. Several asked why survey crews were everywhere. Sales representatives struggled to explain. Rumors quickly spread through the community. Late that afternoon, the sheriff received an important call. The county review was nearly complete. Everyone involved wanted answers, and answers were finally arriving. The first results confirmed what I already suspected. Several sold lots were located entirely on my land. Not partially, entirely. Victoria immediately challenged the findings. She insisted there had to be an error, but the county records matched the survey results, and both matched my deeds. That evening, the HOA board called an emergency meeting. The room was packed. Everyone wanted to know how this happened. No one liked the answers. The projected maps revealed the full picture. 42 sold lots were under review. Several overlapped private property boundaries. The room fell completely silent. Then I presented the original family deeds. Every document was authenticated and verified. The evidence was overwhelming. And Victoria's biggest problems were only beginning. The following morning, county officials delivered their final report. Every surveyed boundary matched my family's deeds. There was no conflicting ownership record. The valley belonged exactly where the documents said it did. The board members carefully reviewed every page. The findings were impossible to ignore. Questions immediately shifted toward Victoria. They wanted to know how this had happened. Victoria insisted she had relied on old development information. She claimed consultants had handled the details. But several board members weren't satisfied. Responsibility was becoming a major issue. News spread throughout Silver Briar Estates. Residents began discussing the situation openly. Many worried about the future of the project. Others simply wanted honest answers. Potential buyers also demanded information. Several wanted confirmation about property boundaries. Sales teams suddenly faced difficult conversations. The uncertainty was affecting confidence. I shared additional records from my grandfather's archives. They included surveys, maps, and ownership history. Everything matched the county findings. The evidence was now overwhelming. By the end of the meeting, the mood had completely changed. The board's attention was no longer focused on me. Instead, they were focused on Victoria's decisions. And the most important vote was still ahead.